Several years ago, I had the opportunity to fly to Florida. I carefully read information online about traveling with a ventilator. I also read stories from others who had flown. I planned what I would take along with me on the airplane. I took 2 bottles of sterile water, my nebulizer, saline for my nebulizer, my heated humidifier with a heated wire circuit, and any medicine I may need. I placed all this in a small suitcase which could be carried onto the airplane. I called the airline ahead of time and arranged for wheelchair assistance. I also asked for a window seat near the front of the plane. When I arrived at the airport, a friend dropped me off. She escorted me to the check-in counter. The airline employee asked me what my breathing machine was. I said it was similar to a CPAP machine. She noted that on my account. She then told me if I planned on using the machine during the flight, I had to have a window seat. When she checked my seats, she was happy to see that I was already assigned window seats. My friend was going to leave me at the check-in counter and have wheelchair assistants take me through security. However, the very kind airline employee said she could print my friend a gate pass so my friend could go with me through security and take me to my gate. My friend happily agreed to this offer. Security was uneventful. The 2 employees from security were very careful with me. They scanned my bottles of sterile water and returned them back to me. I soon was at the gate. While waiting for my flight, I placed a small amount of sterile water into my water chamber and ran my heated humidifier to hydrate my lungs. About 15 minutes before it was time to board, the gate agent told me to get ready to go on the plane. I disassembled my heated humidifier and placed it in my carry-on. I was then helped on the plane by the airline pilot and the flight attendant. I was treated like I was a very important person. The flight attendant was very kind to me. There were no issues with using my ventilator during the flight. The plane ride was short. It was less than an hour long. We did not fly very high in the sky. We reached an altitude of 10,000 feet, or about 3,000 meters. The cabin was pressurized to 4,300 feet, or about 1,300 meters. My breathing was fine during the flight. Upon landing, I had a short layover in a large airport. When I checked in for the second flight, I was asked about my breathing machine. I said it was similar to a CPAP device. I was allowed to board the plane first since I had a lot of medical equipment. I was helped to my seat. This flight was much longer than my first plane ride. The flight was 2.5 hours long. The plane reached an altitude of 36,000 feet, or 11,000 meters. The cabin was pressurized to 10,000 feet, or about 3,000 meters. As a side note, as one increases in altitude, the amount of oxygen in the air decreases. This means as you increase in altitude, the body is required to work harder to breathe. So even though the airplane cabin was pressurized to 10,000 feet, there was much less oxygen in the air. Once we were in the air, I was struggling to breathe, even though I had the cuff on my tracheostomy tube inflated and was receiving full respiratory support from my ventilator. I felt as though I was not getting enough air. My heart was racing. I felt panicked. My body was trying very hard to take bigger breaths to get more oxygen, but it felt as though a pile of bricks were lying on my chest. I kept telling myself the flight would soon be over. As we started descending to the ground, it felt as though someone was taking off the bricks from my chest. When we landed, I was absolutely exhausted from fighting so hard to breathe. After enjoying some time away on vacation, it was time to fly back home. This time, I was using a different airline carrier. Unfortunately, this airline did not have seat assignments. I was told if I wanted to use my breathing machine during the flight, I needed to have a window seat. Thankfully, the gate agent allowed me to be one of the first people on the flight, so finding a window seat was not a huge obstacle. Flying was again challenging. It was hard to breathe during the flight. When I landed, I had a layover and had to change planes. When I checked in for my second flight, the gate agent had a big issue with me using a machine to breathe. She asked how long my battery lasted. I said 8 hours. The woman flew into a frenzy and said I could not fly. I told the woman my flight is less than an hour long. It will not take us more than 8 hours to reach our destination. The woman was very apprehensive about letting me fly. She told me she would come back and get me when it was time to board the flight. When it was 30 minutes before the plane was scheduled to depart, the gate agent started boarding the plane. I was getting frantic. I needed a window seat. I was told by the airline if I did not get a window seat, I could not fly. Using all my energy, I put my carry-on bag on my lap, propelled my wheelchair with my arms, and pushed my ventilator cart with my feet. When I reached the gate agent, I was about ready to collapse from exhaustion. I asked the airline employee, "Why did you not get me?" She said, "You needed to pack up your medical equipment." I said, "Ma'am, I need this machine to breathe. This metal cart is going to be gate checked, and this carry-on bag is going in the overhead bin. There is nothing I need to pack up." She apologized for not getting me. When I was on the flight, there were many people who had already taken a seat. The flight attendant was extremely nice and helped me locate a place to sit. The flight was uneventful. Since it was a short flight, the plane flew at a low altitude, and it was much easier to breathe than my previous flight. When I arrived home, I ran saline through my nebulizer to help rehydrate my lungs. I then went to bed for the next week to recover from the exhausting adventure. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.